Hi, it's Gadget UK here again. Another simple fix to 2000. It's going to be really short this because I think we've done the same sort of thing before, almost. That chip there I think is faulty. I plugged this in, yeah, like that. System froze. Took that out, rebooted. Mouse wasn't working. I'll show you that. Just power it on. I've removed everything from this, just to rule out everything on it. Swap the CIAs around, but those don't process the horizontal and vertical movement anyway. It's done by that chip and Paula, and I think read by Denise maybe. So as you can see we're there, and the mouse doesn't work. Now when it boots to Workbench the buttons do, so it's got to be that 157. I think that's a shift register, isn't it? I think that's what that is. And I tried piggybacking it to make it a difference. I actually think that that's dead. I don't know what else it could be, and it was the point, like I said, that issue happened just from plugging it in. So yeah, it must be ESD. I've got the wrist strap on here. Anyway, let's just disconnect everything. Just going to flip it over, solder and remove that chip, socket it up, get a replacement in there, and hopefully that will work. I hope it's not like killed Paula or Denise or something. Please let this be the issue. You could argue what I should do is swap over Paula and Denise first. Well, certainly Paula, because that's you know, responsibility there for producing the HMV pulses it needs. So it could be a balked Paula. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a faulty Paula, to be honest. We saw one on that 1200 where that was created by a voltage problem on a power supply, and anything can die. The most resilient chips will die with over voltage. Yeah, so where is it? It's yeah, there's a resistor right there, it's the chip in the middle there. So I'm just going to try and remove as much solder as I can here this way. Hang on, I'll start with a pin that's not VCC or ground. Yeah, so there we go. That's absolutely not all of the solder. I'm sure there's going to be a fair bit still on the other side, so let's just get rid of that. Yeah, so I'm going to get that onto the chip if I can, like that. Yeah, hold it. Yeah, bring in the hot air. Just preheat whilst this warms up. Set to just around 400, 405. I don't know why I always go with 405. 405 is my magic temperature I always go to on a double-sided board like this. That's like Atari, Amiga, Neo Geo. It's yeah, generally good temperature to go for. Just looking at those there, I don't see any rogue solder blobs or anything like that. So I don't know. It's a bit strange this. What I do know is it's not anything that was on there like the 536 or, you know, any other card interfering. That's hopefully no panel trace damage, but I'm not sure because that was just a little bit painful to get off. Just fold it out. Yeah, I think the pads are alright. Well, from this distance, yeah, no damage there. So I just need to unblock the odd hole here. I realise that label's got a bit of heat damage there, look. Repaired partial recap 2019 was when we did that. So here we are, what, 4 years later, with another failure. The interesting thing is, the last time we did a 2000 controller port thing like this, it turned out to be some corrosion, didn't it? I'm darn sure that this isn't corrosion. It's too coincidental that it occurred the minute I actually put the joystick in. So, yeah, that's what I always say. Don't connect things while it's on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The only issue we got here is the ground, which is down here. Oh yeah, and the hole is tiny, so I'm just going to add a tiny bit of flux there. And just have a bit of a hole on the braid there, like that. Yeah, and just give it some time. Yeah, there we go, it's fully unblocked now. So that did the trick. Tiny bit of IPA because we just had some flux there, and it's always a good idea just to clean underneath anyway, just in case some contamination or corrosion or something is the thing that actually caused the failure, but very unlikely. This is the ESD. That's what's done this, without a doubt. Right, I will socket it. And I've got a dip socket here. Pin 1's up towards the top there. Let's see if we can get that into position. There we go. Let's just flip it over. Hang on, let's just get that wrist strap back on again. Yeah, I'm a wee bit paranoid at the moment. Maybe it's me that's got the ESD, but I don't think so. I didn't touch the port. I was nowhere near it. I wasn't touching any metal point at the point where the connector went in. But you see, that thing is, an object like that joystick, you think, how's that got an ESD charge? And it's all about surfaces coming into contact with each other. And that's the thing, it was sat on a box, plastic box, carried it across the room, and then I'll just plug it in. So I was nowhere near the connections, so it wasn't a connection from me. I'm darn sure I didn't feed ESD into it, but then again, me being in connection with the joystick could have done that. Anyway, that's nice and straight there, so let's just commit to soldering it on, and then we can just give it a try. Yeah, so just by virtue of me carrying it, moving it, it being on the box, coming off the box, having moved around on the box previously, vibrations and things, it probably had some charge. And you plug it in, boom. And the shift register, certainly for the H&V, the shift register is the first in line. And CAAs, well, it's just buttons, isn't it? They process, and like I say, flip those around just to rule them out anyway. It's behaving exactly the same with them in the other order. But they don't have any relation to the up, down, left, right. It's all done via the shift register. And I think Paula produces some pulsed signals for the H&V. And then the actual values from the shift register, the data, is picked up by Denise. So it could be a faulty Denise. I'll be wasting my time doing this. I think in any case it's handy to have this socketed, because I'm not sure I did this on the other board. I don't even know whether I took the 157 off the other board when we did the previous 2000 control port repairs. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to have something like this socketed. I ever get a 157 I'm not sure about, I could just pop this board out and test it on that, but you know what, you can use something like the TL866, so yeah, anyway, I'll clean up that board in a minute. Let's just flip it over. Just move these things out of the way. So I've got the replacement 157 here, wrist strap on, pin 1 towards the top. Let's just get that in. Let's give that a try, I think. Just make sure nothing crazy is going on here, nothing shorting anywhere. That's on straight. Let's power it on. Hold both mouse buttons down. It's taking ages for the video. Oh, there we go. Right, let's try and move the mouse. Oh my god, the mouse still isn't moving. Do you know, I think we've got a faulty Denise. I actually think that that's just killed, must have killed Denise. I don't know what else it could be. I don't know. I could try and move one of these resistor arrays around. Let's try and do that. I'm just bending the resistor array slightly just in case. No, I've got no mouse. What the? Seriously hate working on these sometimes. Like, how is this now? How is this now a problem? I'm trying to work out which one of these is Paula now. 8362, 8364. 8364 is Paula, isn't it? I think, yeah, this is Denise. It says there, Denise. I actually think that Denise has got an issue. Socket looks alright. Let's just get another Denise. So yeah, so I've got these chips here with the intention of building another board, which will be an upcoming video. So hopefully I've got a Denise here. So that's 8362, isn't it? That one was an R8. So I've got another 8362 R8 here. pins look fairly straight on there. Pin 1's up here. So let's try Denise. Let's just move those out of the way. Power that back on. Mouse buttons hold down. And yep, no mouse. I wonder if the mouse is the issue here. Let's just try the switch on the mouse. No, so I don't know, I'm really confused. Have I got it in the wrong port? It's not the other one that's the mouse port, is it? I think it's that first one, sure it is. Yeah, it's not that one. Oh, hang on a minute, there's a fuse for the mouse port, it's not that, is it? Or is that the fuse for the keyboard? So, I don't know, maybe one of the EMI things has failed or something. Or the resistor array, maybe. I don't know, I'm really confused. Right, well, let's just run through the motions. The H&V, we know Paula has a... I don't like leaving him there, really. Paula has a responsibility for that. Let's just see if we can get under the edge. This is one of those ones that's got like a squashed line of pins there. Anyway, I'm sure this is not going to be the issue. Let's move Paula out of the way. Right, so I've got an 8364 Paula here. Pin 1 to the left again. Push it in. Both mouse buttons down. Power on. Oh my god, it's enough to drive you nuts. It's still not working. I seriously hate problems like this. This is the second time we've had an issue like this on a 2000, and there's no corrosion around here. This is not about corrosion. So something here, one of these has failed. One of these resistors raises a problem. There's something like that going on. So anyway, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Logic probe, mate. Unless the mouse is the problem here. Maybe the mouse has died, but no, I don't know. I find that really hard to believe. Let's just check this fuse here. I'm darn sure it's for the keyboard. Maybe it powers like a few things here. So let's try. Hang on a minute. Oh, that's the issue. It's that fuse. Yeah, it's that fuse. This is the problem. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that this fuse was for these as well. It probably is. So, right. What a waste of time that was. Anyway, you learned something from these things. I've learned something. So, I don't know what size that is. I've got some Pico fuses. 4 amp. It's exactly the same as what they use on some of their other cards, actually. Let's just get one of them. And when I say their other cards, I mean like the A2386 has one of these, which is why I had some. And 4 amp, exactly the right ones, exactly the right style, exactly the right size, and everything. So let's get that on there. I'm surprised though. I'm surprised that joystick, just plugging a joystick in, blew a fuse. Explain that. You know, I don't know. Explain it. How does a joystick draw 4 amps unless there's a problem with the cable? I guess I might just check that before we plug that joystick in again, just in case there's something gone wrong with the wiring and the ground short to the 5 volts or something like that. Anyway, I guess it's something different, isn't it? I guess it's something different. If you see the same sorts of things, like e.g. that, and a bit of, you know, corrosion each time we look at one of these, then it's all samey. Yeah, but the actual cause here is not samey, is it? We haven't seen this. I don't think I've had to replace a fuse on a 2000 board yet. I just don't know how that fuse has gone. I'll show you the joystick. This is the one. So this has been fixed previously, but this has been used loads of times. So unless a wire's come loose in here or something, and the 5 volts and grounds are down in there shorting, I can't see how it would be an issue. Yeah, the delamination here, this was the previous original repair to this. You know, this board had someone melt, you know, all around here, and it was all really super delaminated, as you can see. The link to that repair will be top right. So the fuse is the third one across here. So we'll just get the old one off. I can actually see a heat mark on a fuse actually where it's blown. There we go, that is off. No, I'm seeing things, I can't see a heat mark on it. Anyway, let's just put that out of the way. Get another fuse out. Just bend the legs sort of appropriately, really. Push it into place. Just pull the legs on the other side a little bit. There we go. And let's solder that fuse in place. So what have we learned from this? Well, thou shalt check voltages. Occam's razor, simplest explanation being the most likely. I dismissed that fuse, you know, I did point that one point in and then went, ah, no, a bit of the keyboard that. I don't think so. I think it's probably powering like a whole rail here. And in fact, I can see that now. Can you see that? It's not for the keyboard at all. The fuse is here, comes across there, and then it comes to this rail. Oh, look where this rail goes. Ports. Ports, there you go, that's what it is. It also proves that it was the fact me plugging it in caused it. Yeah, I knew something had happened at that point because it's like straight away. I thought it'd frozen. Actually, in retrospect, it hadn't frozen. What had happened is the mouse had stopped working. Yeah, so you know, it's not like the screen went black or anything like that. No, it was sat there at the desktop, and the mouse was no longer moving. Well, it's not going to do, is it? You've got no power. But your button works, and the reason the button works, you get again another clue, is because the button just goes between ground and one of the CIA inputs, I think. So the button 1, fire 0, and fire 1. Yeah, I think you'll agree, that's not looking too bad, nice and clean around there. Mouse button's held down. I know what you're thinking. I really should be testing the mouse for shorts, because you know what, that fuse may have blown again. Right, so we've got video and we've got a mouse. Ah, there we go. So annoying. I'm glad I had some of those. Right, the next thing is test that joystick. So there's numerous ways you could test a joystick like this. Like a dedicated joystick tester. I could remove the hood here and check it. I think though what I'm going to do is just put this on continuity. So I've got a male socket here. It's just going to make it easier to test, isn't it? If I plug that on there, sort of wedge that between knees. Yep, we're on knee cam again. So what I want to do here is just measure between each of these pins here to make sure there's no shorts next to each other. And then, I don't know, just test every combination really. Which you could argue is a bit of a long way of doing it. The key really is just test where your VCC and grounds are. I don't know, let's plug it in. Yeah, so the joystick's in. Obviously move the joystick around, press fire, and I can still move the mouse. So I don't know, it's just one of those fluky things, I think. Yeah, so another extra in this video, I've just annoyingly killed my floppy drive. Luckily I've got a chassis here that's got no heads. I could swap the PCB out, but in the first instance I'm just going to replace this IC. There's a blast mark on the top of it. What happened was I connected the power connector up the wrong way. It's one of these early ref 500s, and I measured first. I thought red, that's got to be 5 volts. Wrong, the way this is connected up, brown is 5 volts. So yeah, thanks for that, Commodore colour coding engineer people. Yeah, the 500 seems to have survived, but yeah, there's a burn mark on the top of this IC here, and straight away I smelt it and I saw the magic smoke escape. It's yeah, worse for wear. This drive, the screw there's mangled, but anyway, this drive did work. If I can somehow miraculously fix it by swapping out that IC, then great. What I might have to do is take the IC back off and put it on this board and use this board, because you know what, the main chip could have gone there, or the one down here. Anyway, coming up and up. That's it. Yeah, logically it would have made more sense to have just swapped the boards over. I think maybe you lose the track alignment. I can't honestly remember. This is one of these ones where when you move this board, the track, I think it is, I think the track 0 sensor's on the thing, isn't it? So this might be the easiest thing, but yeah, what else died? You know, it was only a split second. It literally went poof straight away. Smoke straight away. I smelled the magic smoke escape. Right, let's try and absorb solder. Going the way I shouldn't go. Should go the way the pad is longest. I did just relocate a resistor or something there, by the way, with hot air just a second ago, because it had come loose and displaced itself. It was only attached on one pad. Right, that's it. I think we can seat the IC there and solder it on. So did the exact same thing on the other one, just to get that IC off. And to get this the right way around now. Pin 1 to bottom left. Part number on this is 3479-000. So yeah, you've got no chance of probably finding one of those other than on another drive, I don't think. Oh, what's in there then? Oh, for God's sake. Well, let's try and get that IC on. Get a wee bit of flux on there again. Still some from when I removed the IC. And of course, the reason why it might be a good idea to swap the board is with something like this, where overvoltage has been an issue, you know, complete wrong voltage, then if this IC has an issue, it may then kill this one again, if you see what I mean. This might not be the instigator of the short. And I guess I really should measure the power rails and things on there to see if there is a short. This time I'll go with brown to the right, just holding the drive up. I've not even got the data connected. Yeah, so brown to the right, which was 5 volts. Right, it did its usual click thing. It's not hot, not hot, not hot. So maybe that's fixed it. So connect the data cable up. Pin 1 on this is to the right, I think, if that's to be believed. I can still smell the magic smoke, you know. Let's just hold it like this and just again see what happens. Booming. Woohoo. Crisis averted. And I'll show you that again. I'll just cycle the power. So yeah, I'm going to stick a mark on this Rev 3 just so I know which one is the brown. There we go. And I'm super pleased I kept this board. You know, I was going to whiz it at some point and I thought, well, you never know, maybe one day I'll need one of these ICs. Well, I did. I needed that one. So we'll just clean around that. Yeah, I tend to stick stuff like this just to stop me from splattering it all over the place. Stuck a label on the other side. I'll show you that in a second. I'll do Noel's Retro Lab special of sticking it on there and doing that. It works quite well, that, actually, that technique. Actually, don't need to use a cotton bud, yeah. So, you can see that's looking pretty good there now. Yeah, so the old IC, we'll just clean the top of it with some IPA. And if you look at it in the light, can you see? Look at the light. There's a little dot up here. That's the blast mark where the magic smoke escaped. Yeah, so good job I had that spare, isn't it? And just to make sure I don't repeat that mistake again, I've got brown 5 volts because it's easy to test. And what I mean is when you're looking at this connector here, can you see this one? There's no key on it. You could get it either way around. And I measured from one of the 7.4 series, the VCC pin to the top right here. 5 volts is on the right there. So of course I looked at this and went, red's got to be +5 surely. Now the interesting thing there as well is that I've made that mistake on my 2000 because my 2000's kind of got connectors that aren't keyed, and those have been round the wrong way once, and it actually worked. It didn't cause a problem. It didn't cause the drive to fail. So yeah, I think I was just unlucky with that. Just testing the 500 plus again here. I've always had problems with this. I mentioned this, it might be earlier in this video, Pstorm here, where I swapped the connector. But anyway, yeah, it's not been used in a few months. This wouldn't boot either. Now, the exact same thing happened with the Rev 3 we just looked at. When I first powered it on, I got a green screen, pressed everything down, and it went away. And then just before the end of the test there, I got the green screen back again. I reseated the Agnes, problem gone. The same problem affected this one. They've just got a bit of chip creep, I think, and the Agnes has just needed a reseat on both boards, actually. This is the one I fixed on the My Mate Vince video. There'll be a link to My Mate Vince's video up there. So, yeah, it's got, it came from Sparks UK, that. Kindly came from him. And I was super pleased to receive that, because, hang on, it's on the wrong port of the mouse. Yeah, they're darned expensive, like £90, aren't they, at the moment? It's crazy, really, how much those 2 meg Agneses are. So, yeah, the dating time's not correct, but the Pstorm has booted up okay there. Yeah, I'm not sure why I've got this problem with the icons here. It's something to do with the display mode it's in. I think it's because this compact flash card, well, not the compact flash card because it hasn't got one. The image on the SD card for the hard disk, it came from an AGA setup. So yeah, the icons don't look right. It's incredible how fast the Pstorm is. I would use it more, and I would have done a video on it. But you know what? The thing is, I'm not happy with it because there's an interrupt problem, isn't there? Lots of stuff doesn't work. When I say lots of stuff, maybe it's a minority, but everything I seem to want to play on it doesn't work. Hopefully the Pstorm in the 1200, I forget what that's called. Yeah, hopefully that's fixed that issue. And I can show you what I mean here if we're going to catch 'em. Yeah, so what happens with this, I think it starts and then it kind of like gets stuck. It's probably going to prove me wrong now, it'll probably work. There you go. Down there. That's it. It's like, I think it's waiting for an interrupt from something. The timing is not there, you know, the timing's not right. So it's just waiting forever. I think that's what's going on with that. So yeah, that's why I don't like the Pstorm. And I think it's some difference between level triggering and edge triggering. I forget exactly what the system supports, but well, the CPU, I think. But that's the issue. There is a subtle issue with the original Pstorm. No one pointed it out in any of the reviews. Everyone just like sung it praises because it runs so fast, but it isn't perfect. And if something isn't perfect, you know, it doesn't accurately replace standard CPU. You know, we've got an illegal instruction there. Why would you want to use it? This is the thing. Right, I kid you not, I've just had to hammer the DMAC. An actual hammer from upside down. Yeah, there's 2 holes. Yeah, put my little flat tool, and you shouldn't really use a pointed tool because you could go into the chip. But I had to put that in the hole and then hammer like that with this upside down, obviously. And the chip didn't come out all the way, but it was sort of coming out the socket, and then pushed it back in, it clipped in. It's really tight, that socket. It's the tightest socket I think I've ever come across. And now it's booting, so I'll test it with the SCSI again now. Let's give it another try. It's incredible how long I've messed with that. I've been at it 20 minutes faffing with this darn thing. Reseated everything around here apart from that. And I think this is another Occam's razor. You know, this has really annoyed me, this. I've spent like 2 hours messing with this. I took all the RAM out of it. I've tried everything. Reseated every single chip, cleaned up legs and every single chip. Now it's working. It's booting from SCSI. I've got the RAM missing at the moment. All it was, and I cleaned this socket here, it didn't make a difference. It wouldn't work. I folded some paper, put some deox on it, cleaned the slot, and then it worked. I'm not sure if I just disturbed it by no, it's still booting. So was it just a dirty slot? Is that all it was? It wasn't the actual edge of the PCB. Yeah, that's booted. Got all the drives. Yeah, you can see that there. So let me disconnect this and reconnect it. You can see I even brought the box in. Why did I bring the box in, you might ask? Well, A, about leveling the surface a little bit here, but also B, the resistive connection to ground. I just wondered if something on here was taking offence to, you know, the ESD mat. You might not think that's a thing, and for the most part it isn't, but it can be. You test something that uses RF or something on a mat like this, and you may find, you know, if a transistor leg or something's pressing on there, you might get a weird effect. So let's just try that, just after just moving it off the mat, see if... Well, it's not doing anything now, look. This is the thing. Now it's back on here, it's not working. Right, well, inspecting with magnification, we've got a mysterious liquid here that I am not sure what that is. Is there a cap round here? Is maybe that cap leaked? Let's just clean around here. I'm really not sure what's going on. I'm like really confused. I don't know, there was something oily here. I don't know where that would have come from. Yeah, maybe that cap. Let's try connecting it again. I might have to get this into the ultrasonic, I think, to try and make sense of this. Yeah, now it's working again. Hang on. I think. Yes, it is. I think it's that. I think that cap's leaked. I think that's what it is. And this is the problem, you see. You get an issue like that, and it was only a small, tiny little bit leaked across a couple of traces, and then you get conductivity. Well, I'm kind of thinking that's it, what it is. I did have some deoxit on the here, but it was here. It wasn't there. So I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure. I don't know where the cap's gone for this now. Anyway, it's booting again. Let's just try and disconnect and reconnect it, because hang on, it's all over the table, this stuff. So maybe I'm imagining things, and maybe it's just some deoxit that's leaked out. I also just cleaned under where the ROM label is on the underside. There were a few bits of fluff. I wonder if one of those was introducing some capacitance. Yeah, it's working again. I actually wonder if it was my label then. It's one or two things. It's the stuff that was over there, or it's the fluff on the label. And you may not think fluff is a thing to worry about. Trust me, it is. Because you can get capacitance. This is the thing. Yeah, there was a bit here. See where this? There was a bit here. See where these pins are? Right on the end there, a few bits of fluff, and I just brushed it away. But at the same time, I also then went, hang on a minute, it's gooey up here, and wiped that bit off from around here. So maybe that cap. We'll check that on the ESR meter in a minute, I think. But right now, I want to just test it again, because it's never worked after disconnect and reconnect once. We've just done it, and I did it the third time. Let's just, see if it will work a third time. Just get that Allen key out of the way, make sure nothing's shorting. Put that under there. Yeah, everything's going wrong today. I killed my floppy drive, as you saw. Yeah, it's working again. And then I've just had no end of trouble with this. More than 2 hours spent on this, trying to test this on the 500 plus. Right, switch it off. Let's get the RAM back in. Amigas are grateful to work on until they're not. You know what I mean? It's like when you have one of those days where you seem to get jinxed, where every single thing you do goes wrong, and you start to create problems rather than solve problems. Yeah, it's one of those days. Even these sockets, anybody who's worked on these and 3000s will tell you how great these sockets are. You know, they snug the pins so tight, and yeah, you could use contact cleaner to try and help you free things up. But yeah, they make such a tight grip. Trying to get the chips out is never fun. Let's just try it with that little bit on there. I'd kind of expect if that was working, we'd get an error. Actually, mind you, it's set to amnesia mode, so probably not. Yeah, it's still working. And I'm going to keep doing that as I do each bank. And in fact, let's just set that back to 2 meg. Let's just see if we get the usual behaviour there, because what we should do is get a grey screen or something. In fact, you don't with this. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's what you get when the RAM's bad with Kickstart 3.1. No, I haven't got to the bottom of this, whatever it is, it's intermittent, because now I've got all the RAM back in. It's not working again. And the RAM isn't the issue. It's not the RAM. The RAM is not causing this problem. I don't know what is. Nothing's getting warm either. The DMAC just clicked, so I don't know, maybe bad connection on the DMAC. No. Well, you thought I'd fixed it, and I thought I had as well. But then, you know, I disconnected it, reconnected it, it's not working again. Tried reconnecting it 4 times, still wasn't working. Inspected around here, there's no liquid. I think that liquid was this stuff. I think I just got it in my hands, touched the board. So it wasn't that. So, last dished attempt, I got contact cleaner to the power connector. That didn't make a difference, and I thought I'll spray this with contact cleaner. And I did that, plugged it in, it worked straight away. So, is it this connector? there's no corrosion on it, and it's not bent. Let's just try reseating it. This is the thing. Often you would just disconnect and reconnect it, and then it won't work. It could be, I don't know, I don't want to say bad solder point, because I've inspected them, they look fine. But maybe, I don't know, a damaged pin or something, like a broken pin, or... Let's see, is that going to... Oh, it's booting again. So, I don't know, maybe it was just a little bit of dirt in there. Anyway, I'm going to have to test more, and obviously just, disconnect, reconnect a number of times to be 100% sure. But you see, I first started looking at this on the Rev 3, it didn't work on the Rev 3, and I was like, that's strange, it should be on the Rev 3, why is it not working on the Rev 3? Which is why I've, decided to quickly, in quotes, test it here. Can't believe how my whole day's been wasted on trivial things like me blowing the floppy drive up, me somehow, I don't know, having some issue with this. I don't even know what the answer is yet. Let's disconnect and reconnect it again. Just for good measure, let's move the SCSI over here. Is that a thing? That's the thing. I've disconnected, reconnected the SCSI to rule that out. But you see, the thing is, when it stops working, it doesn't. It's not just that the drive doesn't work; the system doesn't boot at all. That was where I started removing the RAM before. No, it's all right. It's got to have been something in here, hasn't it? Maybe some conductivity between pins. Maybe there was something in there. I don't know. I couldn't see anything though. It looks good as new inside. Right, so this is like a week later. I finally got to the bottom of this after the live stream I did today. I revisited it, and you know what it was? The yellow wire here, even the red one, were pressing onto a couple of pins, so I've pushed them in between pins and then just put a blob of glue there. I think when I did this, I said, I'll stick a blob of glue there, and I never did. Or it came off, one of the two. Anyway, that's what it was. That's what it was. And the reason we've got the problem here is because we're no longer testing on a flimsy cardboard box, we're testing on a really hard surface. So of course when I've pressed it down or pressed the chips down, it's just, it's punctured the wire at a couple of places. That's all it was. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe how long I spent messing with that darn thing the other weekend. So yeah, it did take me a week to work out that it was just the solder points and gluing that and moving them away from the pins. That was the issue. I put my metal tool underneath the wire and it clipped off, and I pulled it up and looked, and I could see a little mark and dint on the sleeving where it had been pressed onto the pin. So that definitely was the issue. This is months later, and I've used this a little bit recently. It works fine, it's solid. So anyway, yeah, a bit of a bitty video again. I do hope you found something there interesting. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, please see the Ko-fi and Patreon links down below. Thank you ever so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for your patience and stuff. I will catch you in the next video.